From the shining domicile that is Pittsburgh Comics, my old mannered comic shop owner, Colin McMahon, transforms into the world's greatest comic book talking TV host. Join us true believers for Comics Now!
Hey everybody, welcome to Comics Now for August 2023. So we are deep into the heart of summer right now, and we've had some weather that is definitely read inside weather. So if you're looking for something to take your time, there's no new shows, nothing's being made. We have lots of stuff for you to read between new comics that are coming out every week. We have thousands of graphic novels if you want something that's going to take you a little longer. So please come on by. We have all sorts of stuff. We also do a monthly book club, and it's always the last Friday of the month. And this month, we are doing a book I've been wanting to read for a while. It's What's the Furthest Place from Here? This is by Matthew Rosenberg and Tyler Boss. It's the last Friday of August is when we are doing that. We also spotlight a creator every month, and right now we're spotlighting Mark Millar. So we've made a nice little display of all of his books if you're interested. So there is a ton of stuff coming out this month, both from Marvel, DC, and everybody. So let's get into it. Marvel has a ton of new books coming out this month. Starting off, we have Uncanny Avengers. This is by Jerry Duggan and Javier Garrón. The fall of X calls for the return of the Avengers Unity Squad. Innocent people and world leaders are dead after simultaneous attacks on the U.S. and Krakoan government. That means one thing. It's time for a new squad of Avengers. False flag attacks meant to whip up anti-mutant hysteria are unfolding. And hey, some of Steve Rogers' best friends are mutants. Your new Unity Squad is Captain America, Rogue, Deadpool, Quicksilver, Psylocke, and Monet. They must solve the mystery of who the new murderous Captain Krakoa is and stop his team of killers from igniting the fires of a new world war. We also have a new Immortal Thor series. This is by Al Ewing. In Norse mythos, they called him Thunderer. The gods know him as Asgard's king, keeper of Mjolnir, hero of the tales. When injustice grips the earth and ancient powers bring down the sky, he fights for those who cannot. And when the tale is done, we will know what this cost him. We also have Death of Venomverse by Cullen Bunn. Carnage has been building his powers up, extracting unique abilities from many villains throughout the Marvel Universe, to the point of traversing the multiverse with one goal: kill any and all Venoms. We have Contest of Chaos. This is Scarlet Witch versus Agatha Harkness. It's going through a bunch of annuals, starting off with Spider-Man annual. It's Spider-Man versus Wolverine. Agatha Harkness is building a new Darkhold, and she's pitting Earth's mightiest heroes against each other to do it. First on our list is Spider-Man, whose regular day is turned upside down when he involuntarily walks through a portal to a remote magical city and is attacked by Wolverine. Then we have Iron Man Annual, Iron Man vs. Storm. When the forces of chaos move upon our heroes, the past, present, and future come crashing in on them. And only one can emerge victorious: the might of the human ingenuity versus the power of the natural universe. And we have Fantastic Four Annual, which gives us Ghost Rider versus Human Torch. The Fantastic Four is drawn into the mayhem when the Human Torch is pitted against Johnny Blaze, the Ghost Rider. It's Flame versus Hellfire when the two heroes face off, but who will emerge victorious? We have Moon Knight Annual, which is Moon Knight versus Tagakuchi. When the champion of a god battles the godlike champion, who will win? The Fist of Khonshu faces off against Tiger Division's fearless leader. Now, we also have Marvel Age 1000, which is a big celebration of all the years of Marvel. And the big one this month is Fall of X Has Begun. We have a bunch of new books spinning out of this, and the current stories are affected as well. First off, Dark X-Men #1. Welcome to the Dark X-Men. Hope the world survives the experience. Following the explosive events of the Hellfire Gala, Madeline Pryor realizes the world needs the X-Men now more than ever. Havoc and Gambit have served on the team before, but never one that looks like this. And how does Gimmick fall under the Goblin Queen's sway? We have Astonishing Iceman #1. After the Hellfire Gala, Bobby Drake, aka Iceman, sets his sights on heroic deeds like never before. But as a new situation develops that links Iceman to his Antarctic ice palace, he'll have to be slicker than ever to accomplish his mission before Orcus knows what hit them. We also have Children of the Vault, #1. The Children of the Vault are back, and they are determined to be humanity's salvation. But not everything is as it seems, and every utopia has its costs. What is the motivation behind these highly evolved beings gifting the world with their advanced technology? And how do Bishop and a now Orcus-captured Cable figure into their plans? We have a new Alpha Flight #1, saving Canada from the mutant menace. Guardian, Puck, Snowbird, and Shaman return as terrestrial Alpha Flight bursts onto the scene. But what schism will pit these heroes against their former teammates Aurora, Northstar, and Nemesis, as well as Aurora's beau, Fang? The fall of X has changed the game, and will Alpha Flight soar to new heights or be crushed under the weight of an impossible mission? We have Jean Grey #1. After the events of the Hellfire Gala, Jean's life is in shambles. Mutant kind is in dire straits, and there's nothing this founding X-Man can do. She'll have to save herself first, but that means looking into her past for the moment when it all went wrong, in a desperate attempt to save her and all of Krakoa's future. We have Realm of X #1. The unlikely team of Magic, Mirage, Marrow, Dust, and Typhoid Mary find themselves stranded in Vanaheim. And what's even more confusing, the locals seem to believe that they hold the key to fulfilling a prophecy that can either raise the realm to riches or cause it to fall to ruin. With Magic's powers malfunctioning and a mysterious figure amassing power on the outskirts of the realm, these X-Men are going to have to band together if they want to stay alive long enough to find their way home. We also have X-Men 25, The Fall. She's been known as Kitty, Sprite, Ariel, Red Queen, and Captain Kate. Now as a new X-Men team finds their way through their darkest hour, Shadowcat emerges. We also have Invincible Iron Man #9 is tying in, Tony Stark, Black King of the Hellfire Club. X-Men 14, as the Brotherhood reels from the gala, Genesis takes advantage of the chaos and declares war. Two vast armies clash and Arakko's idols fall. But this is only the beginning of the conflict that will remake the Red Planet. X-Force 43, we have Colossus leading X-Force into the next era. But no one is prepared for a mission set to fracture their trust and teamwork for all time. We have Immortal X-Men 14. Xavier had a dream, now he has nothing. This is the fall of X. He fell the furthest. We also have a new X-Man with Ms. Marvel, the newest mutant. Kamala Khan is back and she's an X-Man. That's right, the good news is that fresh off her world-saving death, Kamala has been brought back via Krakoan resurrection technology. What a way to learn she's a mutant. The bad news is that her debut at the Hellfire Gala didn't go exactly as planned, and now all of mutant kind is being hunted worldwide. Into this world of hate and fear, Kamala has a secret mission to pull off for the X-Men, all the while struggling to acclimate to this new part of her identity. We have Marvel Voices X-Men, which is a special with a bunch of different characters and writers. Marvel Voices continues with this stunning anthology of all new stories celebrating Marvel's mightiest mutants, from the exhilarating days of Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters to the current halcyon days of Krakoa. These stories span the gamut of X-Men history. We also have Ghost Rider Wolverine, Weapons of Vengeance Alpha. Logan's the best at what he does, and what he does as the deadly Wolverine is not very nice. When innocent blood is spilled, Johnny Blaze becomes the Ghost Rider, equipped to deal punishment with the power of Hellfire. A demonic serial killer is murdering innocent mutants. But what is it about this deadly new villain that forces our two heroes to team up? And what buried secret does he share with Wolverine and Ghost Rider's never-before-seen first meeting in the past? It also goes through Ghost Rider 17 and Wolverine 36. We have a new Magneto #1. Magneto was right. Magneto burst onto the scene as the most diabolical of the evil mutants. But when Professor Xavier must leave the planet for life-saving treatment, Magneto inherits a new title, Teacher. With the new mutants under his tutelage, how will these young and powerful mutants learn to take orders from a supervillain? and one who tried to kill them and their predecessors. We also have the Captain America finale, Cap's final stand against the Outer Circle. Using information gathered from friends on the inside, Steve Rogers sets its sights on releasing the world from the Outer Circle's influence and ending the Century game for good. We have Riri Williams getting her own book, The Invincible Ironheart. Riri Williams, aka Ironheart, super genius, and Tony Stark's young protege, is back. How does this teenage hero make a superhero work-life balance? And will the newly obtained Mandarin's rings prove to be more of a burden than a gift? We also have some facsimile editions coming. We have Giant Size X-Men #1, first appearance of the new team with Wolverine. Amazing Spider-Man 300, first appearance of Venom. And Werewolf by Night 33, second appearance of Moon Knight. We also have Marvel Unleashed, which is a story with all the super pets in the Marvel Universe. Amazing Spider-Man 31 is going to be a giant-sized issue, which is the wedding of Tombstone's daughter and Robbie Robertson's son, and Peter is the best man. We have Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1 that is bringing back Hallows' Eve. Then we have some new what ifs. What if Dark Venom? What if Ben Grimm became Venom? When Ben Grimm returns to Earth after his exploration of space post-Secret Wars, he finds that the Fantastic Four has trapped a helpless Clintar symbiote in Reed's lab. But is that symbiote really helpless, or is it truly one of the most dangerous symbiotes in the galaxy? Witness the birth of a brand new Venom. We also have What If Dark Moon Knight? What if Moon Knight did not survive his battle with Bushman? When Khonshu's avatar is slain, a different god empowers their own surprising new champion. From the darkness emerges a new force to light the way, Luminary. Also a new throwback book. We have Symbiote Spider-Man 2099 #1. This is by Peter David. Miguel O'Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099, is facing a hostile takeover of his own body. Kron Stone, the Venom of 2099, wages an all-out assault on Alchemax. And when the only hope of stopping him lies with the power awakened by a top-secret project gone terribly wrong. What must Miguel sacrifice to seal the bond with his new symbiote? His body, his mind, his very soul. We also have Strange Academy is heading into a new session with Miles Morales. Strange Academy is kicking the school year off with a field trip to New York City to throw down against the Brooklyn Visions Academy in the multiversal Math Bowl. When a mysterious new villain crashes the Mathletics, the students of Strange Academy must team up with Miles Morales to put a stop to his plots. Star Wars is giving us a new miniseries, Dark Droids. Who or what is the Scourge? And why is no droid safe? As a corruption spreads from one droid to the next, the Rebellion and the Empire face chaos. And wrapping up the Return of the Jedi series of one-shots, we get one with Max Rebo. Who is plotting to kill Jabba the Hutt? When you're Jabba, you make a lot of enemies, and sometimes they're even under your own employ. Max Rebo and the band have their own plans on how to deal with a mobster like Jabba. Now on to what's coming from DC Comics. From DC Comics, most of the month is going to be wrapping up all the two-parter little Night Terrors miniseries. So I'm not going to go into them in detail. But Night Terrors does wrap up in Night Terrors Night's End. Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, along with the DCU's other heroes, have escaped the nightmare realm only to find the Nightmare League has followed them home. The entire world has become engulfed in horror, and the last person standing to take down insomnia is Deadman. But does he want to? And don't miss the exciting ending that continues the dawn of DC mystery and introduces Dr. Hate. Wait, who's Dr. Hate? You have to read it to find out. Now, in some new #1s they have coming, we have the Penguin #1. This is by Tom King. Revenge is for the Birds. After retiring to Metropolis following his death, Oswald Cobblepot finds himself forced back into the unpredictable and violent Gotham City underworld as a pawn of the United States intelligence community. Gotham's criminal element has been evolving since he was last in the city, with his bastard twin children ruling the Iceberg Lounge. And what of the man he framed for his death, Batman? Is the Penguin walking into a death sentence? We also have a Superman 2023 annual. Lois Lane is now editor-in-chief of the Daily Planet, but at heart she'll always be an investigative reporter. And lately, Metropolis has had a whole new set of secrets she must uncover, even if it means investigating her own husband, Superman. We have Action Comics presents Doomsday Special. It is a creature beyond reason, and the only force in the universe strong enough to kill Superman. It's Doomsday, the living embodiment of death, destruction, and evolution. In the wake of Dark Crisis and Lazarus Planet, King Doomsday now sits on a throne of skulls across a river of blood, holding court over the demons that swarm in the depths of hell. And he may have just found a way back to the land of the living. It's now up to Supergirl and Martian Manhunter to drive the beast back and see that he never again returns to our earthly plane, even if they must die to do it. Now, on to Image Comics. Bunch of new stuff coming from Image. From Image Comics, the big one this month is The Sacrificers. This is from Rick Remender and Max Fiumara. Tomorrow is a harmonious paradise thanks to 5 families who make everything perfect for the price of 1 child per household. Now, as that bill comes due, a son expected to give everything for a family that never loved him, and an affluent daughter determined to destroy utopia must unite to end one generation's unnaturally protracted reign. We have The Schlub, #1. Failing dentist Roger Dalton blames the world for his problems until he is body swapped with the world's greatest superhero. Can Roger save the Earth and finally prove to his family he's not a loser? Or are we all doomed? We have The Cull, #1. Something is killing the children horror vibes mixed with the Goonies-style adventure as 5 friends set off to shoot a short film on a forbidden rock near their home the summer before they all go their separate ways. But that's not really why they're here. One of them has lied, and that lie will change their lives forever. We have the Enfield Gang Massacre, which is tied in with that Texas Blood, that series. Gunslinging action meets dark frontier drama in this original Western thriller as Montgomery Enfield and his gang of outlaws find themselves in the crosshairs of an aging Texas Ranger in a newborn country that's hungry for law. We also have Kaptara returns in Universal Truths. This is by Chip Zdarsky. Astronaut Keith Kanga, trapped on the planet of Kaptara, is trying to find his way home. But first he needs to solve a mystery. Who is stealing all the adorable cat tanks? Who would dare? Quest #1 is a new one from Jonathan Luna. In a land inspired by Southeast Asia, Princess Anya's new husband, Prince Devon, is violently abducted by 3 giant demons at their wedding. Anya sets out on an epic journey with a growing band of loyal warriors, crossing deadly landscapes and battling horrifying demons. What will she sacrifice to save the man she loves? We also have Local Man has a one-shot, Gold. Jack comes face to face with his explosive past when his superpowered alter ego is blasted into modern-day Farmington by a massive cosmic event. Now Local Man has to get his younger, more extreme self back to his own time before he ruins what little life Jack has left. But it won't be easy. Crossjack isn't the only one who landed in the wrong era, and they're both being hunted by a vengeful hero from his past. Now on to Boom Studios. We have a couple, Mech Cadets #1. They're doing a Netflix show for the first series, so they're just doing a new series to tie in with that. General Park, head of the Sky Corps Academy, must assemble a team of heroes to protect humankind from alien invasions. And the team, including his own daughter, may have been pulled into the role by fate, as they are Earth's best hope. But there's more to their relationships with the symbiotic, sentient giant robos they pilot. And the alien threat of the Sharg is far more epic and widespread than any could imagine. We have a new Buffy the Last Vampire Slayer series coming. And Damn Them All returns with issue 7, setting up a second arc, which is great because that was one of my favorite books. Now on to Dynamite. They have a new one, Fire and Ice #1. This is written by Bill Willingham, who did Fables. And this is based on an old animated movie from the early 80s created by Frank Frazetta. And also it was written by Roy Thomas and Jerry Conway. So basically it's a unique vision of beauty and danger, good versus evil, all cast against the hypnotic background of savage prehistoric splendor. Now at long last, the timeless vision is expanding into comics. We also have Vampirella Dracula Rage. Picking up where Vampirella Year 1 left off, this presents Vampirella as you've never seen her before. Inconsolable grief hardens into unquenchable rage as Vampirella tracks the cultists who threaten her son across Europe and America, unsettling political and economic alliances and unraveling the global network of the baby's father, Dracula. We also have Disney villain Hades continuing this series. Hades, the Lord of Darkness, the most deceitful and scheming of the Greek gods. The one god not invited to the weekly brunch at Mount Olympus. Obviously, a slight like this calls for total destruction of the gods of Olympus. To make that happen, the hot-tempered ruler of the underworld needs to acquire the magical golden fleece. Unfortunately, the fleece is guarded by a sleeping dragon and soldiers made out of teeth. So Hades assembles a ragtag group of morally questionable adventurers to help him steal the fleece before some dude named Jason and his Argonauts swoop in to ruin his perfectly logical plan. Now for the rest of the publishers. We have a couple new ones from Titan Comics this month. We have a Robotech book that follows up the Macross saga, Robotech Rick Hunter. We also have one called Scarlet Couture, #1. The Covert Investigation Group's most deadly spy returns. Agent Scarlet Carver and her team embark on a thrilling game of cat and mouse as they're thrown into the high-stakes world of technological espionage. We also have one called Blit Map, a thrilling new sci-fi series set in a breathtaking solar punk metropolis. Well, new one from Massive. This one's got a lot of play at San Diego Comic-Con. It's called Plot Holes, and it's written and drawn by Sean Gordon Murphy. The Plot Holes are a squad of fictional warriors who transport themselves into the pages of other books, using their unique skills to save the plots in order to stop them from being destroyed. And Cliff is their newest recruit, a comic creator who's just realized his world isn't real. In fact, it's a complete fiction that literally exists inside a novel. Dark Horse has a couple new ones. We have Black Hammer: The End. This is the multi-timeline world-hopping adventure with the Weber family reuniting and facing new challenges. IDW gives us an Addams Family book, Addams Family Bodies. Wednesday Addams doesn't feel like she fits in anywhere, not even at home, after she discovers a beauty magazine in her Uncle Fester's room that tells her all about how she should look and act. It doesn't keep her down for long, however, as she quickly realizes that rather than change herself, it would be more fun to make over her family and force them to accept the societal norms they normally reject. We also have a new Dark Spaces book. This is Scott Snyder's kind of umbrella for a bunch of his students writing books. This is the Hollywood Special. All aboard the Hollywood Special, the 1942 luxury train touring the United States to support the war effort. On board is fading star Vivian Drake, doing her part to boost morale and finally give those tabloids something other than her nosediving career and shambles of a family life to write about. But when the Special pulls into the coal mining town of Minersville, PA, amid the collapse of a mine, Vivian finds herself facing every failure and bad memory she's bottled up in the form of what the miners found in the dark, the thing they call the mismatch man, who feeds on pain and regret. We also have a bunch of Godzilla books this month. We have Godzilla, the Best of Mechagodzilla anthology. We have Godzilla Rivals versus Space Godzilla. We also have Godzilla War for Humanity #1. There's a new Star Trek Strange New World series, the Scorpius Run. There's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate. When Splinter is kidnapped, the Turtles search for clues across New York City to try to find their master. Archie has a new Chilling Adventure book. Chilling Adventures presents Strange Science. Danny Malloy is Jinx Holiday's best friend. And where one goes, the other is sure to follow, even if it means through hell and back and forth through the depths of space and time. AWA has a new one called The Madness by J. Michael Straczynski and Akko. Sarah Ross's godlike powers make her the perfect candidate for the world's toughest wet work jobs, until her government employer decided she wasn't needed anymore. To close the books on Sarah, her handlers decide the smart move is to assassinate her, along with anyone who happens to be nearby. Now stark raving mad and laser focused on revenge for the murder of her family, Sarah faces an army of superpowered operatives determined to stop her. There's a new company out called Distillery, which has their preview book is called The Devil's Cut, which is a series of little 4 to 8 page stories previewing new books, and that's going to be coming out. They also have been doing a lot of hype, so this one's going to be interesting to take a look at. Mad Cave has a new one called Project Reese. It's 1952. The wound World War II inflicted on the world is still fresh. Sam Safdie and his ragtag group of treasure hunters have been searching for the fabled map of the Owl Mountains for years, and they finally found it. Their journey leads them to a massive war complex that hides both unknown horrors and fortune and gold. However, the deeper they travel, the more they realize the complex has developed a life of its own, and that some secrets are better left buried in the past. Oni has a new one called Dwellings. Welcome to Elwich, an oasis of American perfection, where the schools overflow with cheery-eyed children, lovingly adorned homes line the historic boulevards, and only the crows can see the deep, festering rot that lurks beneath the pristine surface. Murder, demonology, possession, obsession. Elwich has them all to offer. And behind every dwelling awaits a horrifying new story to be told. And lastly, we have a new one from Vault, Barbaric Wrong Kind of Righteous. It's a double-sized one-shot introducing an all-new talking weapon, flail. The tale of Sir Boris, the righteous paladin, and his trusty flail. He enlists the help of Owen, Axe, and Soren on his noble path. There will be virtuous bloodshed. There will be wailing protests. There will be 2 talking weapons. So that's the new stuff that's coming out in August. Plus, all your favorite books are still continuing. Tons of stories are coming out. We're focusing on Mark Miller here in the store with a nice little display. And our book club on the last Friday of the month is going to be Where's the Furthest Place from Here? So if you have any questions, the website's pittsburghcomics.com. Facebook is Pittsburgh Comics. Twitter and Instagram are PGH Comics. So thanks for watching and stay tuned for Comic Previews Theater. See ya.
I'd say it's surely alive, but sentient is another matter entirely. It's fascinating, really. An organic symbiotic being that returned to Earth attached to our web-slinging colleague in the form of a costume. After detaching the symbiote from Spider-Man, we've kept it in here for further study and evaluation. Of course it has garnered plenty of interest. We've had more than a few break-in attempts, all unsuccessful, thanks to our new security
You forgot our anniversary, Reed.
I didn't forget, Ben. You've just returned from months in space, and considering what this date means for you, I figured it was best to allow you to process things on your own.
Tell the truth. You're afraid of feeling guilty for what you did, for turning me into a monster. Maybe you should have put me in a glass jar too, Mr. Fantastic.
You know that I do everything I can to find a cure for you, Ben, and I won't ever stop until I do. You're my family, and I'd do anything.
Reed, darling, the reporter is here, waiting for you. You said you'd be back in just a minute.
Sorry about that, Sue. I'm on my way, now. We'll continue this later, Ben. You should come by for dinner. I hear She-Hulk is trying her hand at lasagna.
Yeah, sure. I'll check my schedule. Can you believe that guy? He'll never understand. The strange looks and the gasps. People whispering about you like you can't hear. Calling you names and hiding their kids. Hey, what are you trying to... I'm sorry, but I can't let you out. Weak man. You can help? Strong body. I help you. You help me. Perfect host. Has more suited to the symbiotic proclivities than the web slinger.
Ben, are you still in here? I heard a loud...
I have so broken by his desire to be human
What did you do?
that he would bargain with the remnants of his humanity. Strong body.